Well, a couple of months ago I made my video response to the documentary Dying to Have Known, where in the documentary they make the claim that their treatment has a 100% cure rating. Right? That's the first thing. Remember that completely. Now, recently this video has been found, and no surprisingly it has been found by a lot of people who are, surprise surprise, against any, they are against the drug companies, and they are against any form of basically non-natural treatments. Now, I've recently had a guy come on comment and basically say, oh, you don't know anything because, you know, chemo is only 15% effective. And I'm like, well, okay. So I went and did my research, I couldn't find anything. I've asked him if he'd like to back that up, because unless he can back it up with some facts, you know, there's a 15% chance that my hand is going to gain self-awareness and try to strangle me. He's just sent me a number, and that's how I'm treating it. He just sent me a number, and it's arbitrary. So, let's get back on to this fact, because as I was doing my research, I found someone's blog called Sam Survived Cancer, and he goes on about how he's a non-chemo guy who apparently used alternative treatments, when in actual fact, when you look into his case, he had colon cancer, and the part that was cancerous was cut out. And at no point does he admit or say anything to the fact that that surgery cured him, that's all he needed. As far as he's concerned, it's down to he went on, you know, he started eating healthily and started exercising, which when you look, I'll link you to it. He recently had an email from a guy who basically said, oh, I've been reading your thing, and you know, they've suggested radiotherapy, and I'm worried about it, and all these type of different things. I understand you had, you know, surgery, and he even says at the very bottom, I eat healthily and I regularly exercise. Right? Big part of these alternative, supposedly cancer treatments is, oh, eat all raw and exercise and you'll be fine. However, they ignore the fact that, again, even if you do eat healthily, you still get cancer. It doesn't matter. If a vegetarian still has the same chance of getting cancer as I do. And again, what's terrifying is that he says in his blog, if the same thing were to happen again, if he could go back, he wouldn't even have the surgery. He'd just stick to his diet and exercise, and that will be it. And then he quotes all these numbers about all these, you know, different types of cancer, because again, some of these people are very anti-chemo and anti-radiation, when chemo and radiology are very two different things. You only tend to have chemo and radiation if it's a very, very serious cancer, and most of the time it's to stop the cancer spreading, or you will have a very light session which shrinks the cancer so it's easier to get out during surgery. And yet there are these are the type of people that scare people away from having chemotherapy and radiological treatment, because they scare them into having, look at all the negative side effects. Well, yes, there are negative side effects, I'm not going to say there aren't, but the positive side effects to it are far more positive and far outweigh the negative effects that you all have. And in many cases, the hospitals will help you through those, you know, the post-treatment stage. So my only conclusion is, you know, again, I keep on saying this to people, Always trust your doctor. Never trust these people who are, you know, claim to be alternative, or, you know, they cite, you know, they cite yeah, I'll post a link to the guy's thing, but again, he cites a paper, and if you read the paper you will see that depending on the type of cancer, sometimes chemotherapy solves your cancer and they don't have to do anything. However, depending on the type of cancer, you might have to have a bit of radiology, followed by surgery, followed by drug treatment. You know, it's all dependent on the type of cancer. And the best part is he cites a number which is for what do they call it? But it's basically cancer of the heart, which is incredibly rare. But the only way they know really to cure it is to basically have a heart transplant. So I would love to see the alternative way to cure that, because I bet that's just absolutely fantastic.